What's going on, everybody? We're going to be talking about Brook and how Brook has a very crucial role to play for the end of this Elbaf arc, in my opinion. In the latest One Piece chapter, Brook has presumably set off to go pursue Gunko slash Imu, and presumably tried to kick Imu out of Gunko's body. The last time we see Brook is in chapter 1150, and he is completely covered head to toe in bandages. In my opinion, there's only two reasons Brook is even free from these bandages. One being he used his powers to get out of these bandages, which in my opinion doesn't make a whole lot of sense because one, why would he not free the Straw Hats? Two, how is he able to get out of these bandages when he's covered head to toe when you have someone like Jinbei, Nami, and Usopp who have a couple of bandages around their wrists? They're not able to get free. How the fuck is Brook able to get free? I think the more likely scenario is that Gunko is able to subconsciously free Brook from these bandages using her devil fruit. We have not seen Imu use Gunko's devil fruit at all since she's taken over. So I think there is one location that Brook is going, and that is going to be Gunko. There's no other plot point that Brook is connected to. In this arc, there is one giant hurdle we need to get over, and that is Imu. We need Imu gone from Elbaf. Looking at the available characters that can do this, we only have three in my opinion, and that is Luffy, Loki, and Brook. Everyone else is currently tied up with some other plot point or some other battle. We have Zoro fighting Dory and Brogy, and we have Sanji going to free the other Straw Hats and going to the school and the library. Looking at it from an arc perspective, why would Luffy and Loki be the ones to defeat Imu in this scenario? And usually we are losing these battles against the main villains this early in the timeline of fighting these villains. I think this is the perfect time for Brook to show how his soul abilities can counteract Imu's abilities. In my opinion, there's only three possible scenarios for Brook in Elbaf. I think the first scenario is that Brook is going to reach Gunko and he's going to get beat. He's going to try to use his music, his soul abilities, something along those lines. Maybe he's just using his words to try to reason with Gunko, to try to get Gunko's personality to come back. I think Brook could still reach Gunko, but I just don't see him actually freeing her. I think progress could be made. Maybe Brook is, realizing, my abilities have a natural counter to Imu's abilities in some way. Maybe we get more information that Brook's soul abilities are effective against Imu's, which points us in the direction that Imu's abilities are soul based. I think the other likely scenario is that Brook helps in removing Imu from Gunko. I think that Brook could possibly, cause Gunko Imu to malfunction or to stall in some way, and this would allow Luffy or Loki or a combination of them to get Imu out of Elbaf. Overall, I think all of the God's Knights are going to be sent back when Imu is sent back, so getting Imu out of Gunko's body would just be getting all of the God's Knights out of Elbaf. I think defeating Imu is going to cause Imu to request the rest of the God's Knights back to the Holy Land. And I think that the last scenario, which is honestly one of the higher possibility scenarios, is that Brook is the main reason for Imu being sent out of Elbaf. I think that this is the case because this would allow for Luffy and Loki to possibly get beat. If we allow Luffy and Loki to get beat, this saves them for the end of the story to truly fight Imu and allows them to grow from this point, but it also allows us to save Elbaf and to get out of this current arc. If Imu is allowed to stay on the same path, Imu is going to destroy Elbaf. They're going to keep Dami reversing all these giants, and they're going to completely subjugate Elbaf. So in my opinion, we have to win this arc, but we can't really win. So this is why I think that Brook could show how his powers are effective against Imu, and he's able to, kick Imu out of the host body, which is Gunko. Recently, I watched a very good theory video by Dax where he theorized that Imu's ability is based on the 21 grams of soul. And in my opinion, this is most likely the correct take. I think that this is the case because of Brook. I've seen so many comparisons and parallels between Thriller Bark, the Florian Triangle, Gecko Moria's powers, and Imu and the Holy Land and all that shit. Which Straw Hat was literally introduced in Thriller Bark? It's literally Brook. Soul King Brook. Soul manipulation Brook. I think that Brook is going to be instrumental in learning more about how Imu's abilities work, and I think that Elbaf could be the perfect place to show a little more details to Imu's powers, as well as showing how Brook is going to matter in the end game. I think that because Gunko is going to be saved for the end of the story, this is going to give Brook, a greater purpose in the plot, as well as how his powers are going to have a greater purpose in the plot. In my opinion, there's even more implications to this. We could even get the scenario where we have a whole cake island situation where Brook goes off on his own agenda, his own mission to free Gunko in some way. In my opinion, there's no reason Brook is free from his bandages and is going off towards Gunko other than for this to lead somewhere. Even if Brook is defeated by IMU, he has to learn something. There has to be a bit greater reason to this. And in my opinion, it has to deal with his soul powers. There's no other connection other than the fact that, okay, maybe Gunko is Brook's adopted daughter or his real daughter, something along those lines. But how is this going to matter? And in my opinion, it has to deal with his soul powers. There's no other reason for it. I'd like to hear what you guys think down below. If you guys have any theories of your own about what Brook could maybe be doing in Elbaf, or what you think his soul powers could do to IMU, I'd like to hear it down in the comments below. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. See ya.